Tiruppur is the engine of India's garment trade, handling 90% of the country's cotton knitwear exports. It is a $4.5 billion industry built on the scale seen here. Yet, despite that massive volume, most mid-size exporters operate on net margins between 3 and 6%. This isn't a result of global pricing pressure. It is a systems problem caused by trying to solve 2026 logistical challenges with management thinking from 1998. Over the next 5 minutes, we are going to build a production dashboard designed to stabilize margins by replacing operational chaos with clear, data-driven visibility. Building internal structural systems provides a way to create predictability. Instead of chasing more orders to fix a cash gap, you are fixing the structure that processes the orders you already have. Most exporters rely on a reactive workflow. It's a cycle of constant floor firefighting and frantic WhatsApp status updates that never quite capture the full picture. This creates a specific cycle. High buyer dependency leads to thin margins, which prevents reinvestment. Without reinvestment, you have zero differentiation. Because the product isn't differentiated, the exporter is forced right back into the same heavy dependency on the buyer's terms. To break this, we have to map the business as one connected entity, starting with a blank digital board. Open a project management tool and set up 5 macro columns to track the flow: order intake, material prep, production, QC and dispatch, and invoicing. Avoid the temptation to create columns for microsteps or individual machines. The goal is a bird's eye view. You need to see at a glance exactly which phase of the business is currently holding the most volume. Converting physical factory floor chaos into these digital macro stages is the first step toward operational control. Once the board is live, we can track the cash conversion cycle. This measures the speed at which a raw material becomes a paid invoice. On the factory floor, every spool of thread represents capital. When an order sits idle between machines, that capital is trapped. To see this in the system, attach a mandatory data tag to every digital order card. This tag should track the total days in system. This acts as an early warning. If an order card stays in one column longer than your target window, the metric alerts you to a bottleneck before it impacts your month-end cash. By focusing on reducing the time an order spends in each column, you are directly shortening the time it takes to get paid. Tracking this metric turns unseen physical delays on the floor into immediate, visible financial indicators. Currently, most buyer updates are a manual burden. They rely on owners texting managers and managers checking machines, often leading to inaccurate delivery estimates. Shift away from manual texting. Instead, generate buyer updates directly from the data on your dashboard. Providing consistent professional status reports builds the transparency necessary for long-term buyer trust. Just as these workers check every garment before it leaves, the digital system requires a human habit to stay accurate. We call this the learning loop. It is the ritual that keeps the dashboard from becoming obsolete. Mandate a 10-minute daily stand-up meeting with your department heads. Use the dashboard as the only source of truth for discussing delays or targets. The system only functions if it is enforced. Over time, the dashboard should replace the owner's phone as the central nervous system of the export house. Moving from a reactive factory floor to a digital dashboard changes the nature of the business. Chaos is replaced by a flowing, visible system. This framework provides macro order tracking, real-time cash cycle monitoring, and professionalized buyer communication. By 2030, exporters remaining in Tiruppur will not be defined by who offered the lowest price. They will be the ones with the fastest learning loops. To begin the transition, input your current active orders into this 5-column dashboard today and begin the daily stand-up meetings with your managers tomorrow. Exporters who have already adopted these systems are seeing shorter payment cycles and improved order predictability. The choice is to either adopt these methods now or continue operating within the traditional loop.